Here is a number that should make you put your phone down for a second. The average middle-class household in America earns between $55,000 and $90,000 a year. Over a 30-year career, that is anywhere from $1.6 million to $2.7 million that passes through your hands. And yet, the vast majority of people at the end of those 30 years have less than $100,000 saved. Some have far less. Many have debt. Where did the rest go? It didn't get stolen. It didn't evaporate. It got spent voluntarily, enthusiastically, often with a credit card that gave you points in return. That is the trap. Not the economy, not your employer, not inflation, though all three play a role. The actual trap is a specific set of purchases that the financial system has trained you to make and trained you to feel good about making. And the people who figured this out, the ones who quietly went from living paycheck to paycheck to genuinely, structurally, financially free, they didn't do it by earning more. Most didn't even do it by investing smarter. They did it by stopping. By identifying 5 specific categories of spending that were draining your wealth in real time and cutting them out entirely. Some of what I'm about to say is going to feel like a direct challenge to decisions you've already made. That is intentional. The most expensive thing you own right now might not be your mortgage payment or your car payment. It might be a habit so normalized you've never even considered questioning it. By the end of this, you'll know which one. Before I get into this, if you've ever looked at your bank account at the end of a month and genuinely had no explanation for where the money went, hit subscribe right now. That feeling has a name, and I'll give it to you shortly. And drop a comment below. Tell me honestly where you feel the most financial pressure right now. Is it debt? Is it not saving fast enough? Is it that sinking feeling that you're working harder than ever and still standing still? Tell me, because I read every single comment, and this channel runs on that kind of honesty. Now, let's get right into it. Number 5, convenience subscriptions dressed up as investments in yourself. Not Netflix, not Spotify. Those are entertainment products, and you know what you're paying for. I'm talking about the subscription economy's far more profitable invention, the self-improvement subscription. The language learning app you opened 9 times before forgetting existed. The meditation platform charging $99 a year that you genuinely feel guilty about every time you don't open it. The online course marketplace where you've purchased 4 courses, started 2, and finished exactly none. The meal kit service that was supposed to fix your eating habits but mostly just produces guilt-inducing packaging on your doorstep every Thursday. These products are not designed to make you better. They are engineered to make you feel like you are in the process of getting better. That distinction is the entire business model. The subscription economy runs on what behavioral economists call optimism bias, the deeply researched human tendency to consistently overestimate your future self's discipline, motivation, and follow-through. You are not buying a fitness app. You are prepaying for a version of yourself that doesn't exist yet, using money that belongs to the version of yourself that actually does. Here's the math. The average American currently holds roughly 4.5 active self-improvement subscriptions beyond their entertainment platforms. At $30 per month each, that's $1,620 a year. Invest that amount monthly at a 9% historical market return and let it compound for 25 years. That is just under $160,000. $160,000 not lost to a bad investment, not lost to a financial crisis, lost to apps you forgot you were paying for. The people who stopped weren't canceling because they were frugal. They canceled because they understood the illusion of optionality. Keeping a subscription active gives you the psychological feeling of having the option to use it whenever you want. That option feels valuable. It isn't. An option you never exercise costs you exactly the same as a guarantee you never wanted. Audit your bank statement tonight. Circle every charge that recurs from a company you'd struggle to describe the full product of. That circle is where you start. Number 4, and this is the one the financial services industry is specifically motivated to prevent you from understanding clearly: financially packaged status. There is a product that millions of middle-class people carry right now that they believe is a financial tool working in their favor. Metal finish, high credit limit, annual fee between $95 and $695, cash back, airline miles, hotel points, airport lounge access, a concierge line you've called twice. The product is positioned as a premium benefit. In reality, it is one of the most sophisticated behavioral manipulation tools ever constructed at mass scale. Here is how it actually functions. Premium credit cards are designed by teams of behavioral scientists whose specific job is to ensure cardholders spend more than they would with a basic card or cash. The reward system is the mechanism. Every time you earn a point, your brain receives a small hit of dopamine. Over time, your spending behavior drifts, not toward what you need, but toward what generates points. You book the more expensive flight because it earns more. You choose restaurants on the rewards portal over the ones you actually prefer. You spend $600 on a hotel to earn 3,000 points that you'll eventually redeem for $30 in travel credit. The math never closes. Ever. Research has found that premium cardholders spend an average of 18% more per month than standard cardholders, controlling for income level. On a household spending $4,000 a month, that behavioral premium costs $8,640 per year. Not in fees, in changed behavior. The card changed what you bought and how much you spent without you consciously deciding to spend more. That is the product working exactly as designed. The people who got out understood that the points economy is a closed system where the bank always wins, the merchant pays the processing cost, and the cardholder is convinced they found an exploit. You haven't exploited the system. You are the system's highest margin customer. A no-fee card, disciplined utilization, and the $400 plus annual fee redirected into compounding assets, that math actually closes. Number 3. This is the one that explains where the money actually disappears. Lifestyle maintenance spending. There's a man, I'll call him Marcus, 44 years old, senior operations manager, $87,000 a year. He has $14,000 in his 401k and $23,000 across 4 credit cards. He doesn't gamble, he doesn't buy designer goods. He drives a 2021 Honda Accord and owns a 3-bedroom house outside of Charlotte. By every visible measure, he is financially responsible. But every time his income has risen, his expenses have risen slightly faster. At $55,000, smaller apartment, 2 restaurant meals a week. At $70,000, building with a gym, regular car detailing. At $87,000, the $1,400 phone, organic groceries, lawn service, private after-school program for the kids. Each decision felt completely reasonable. Each one was individually defensible. Together, they have neutralized every raise he has ever received. This is lifestyle creep, and it operates below the threshold of awareness almost every single time it happens. The middle class is the primary target of consumer capitalism's most reliably profitable invention, the aspirational upgrade. Every spending category you occupy has a premium tier engineered to look like the natural and logical next step. Regular coffee to specialty pour-over subscription, standard gym to personal training package, practical car to leased car with features you'll never use, decent vacation to boutique resort. The trap is not any individual upgrade. The trap is the embedded assumption that the upgrade is a destination rather than a ratchet. Ratchets only move one direction, and every dollar locked into a higher lifestyle floor is a dollar that can no longer compound. The people who built real wealth on middle-class incomes did something that sounds almost painful. They held their lifestyle flat when their income grew. Not permanently, not out of deprivation, as a deliberate strategic delay. For 2 to 4 years after a raise or a promotion, they lived as though the raise had not happened, and they directed the gap, the difference between what they earned and what they needed, into assets. That gap is the only number that actually determines your financial future. Everything else is noise. Number 2. This one involves something that most people are actively convinced is a responsible, sophisticated financial decision: retail financial products with invisible fees and manufactured complexity. Whole life insurance packaged as an investment vehicle. Annuities sold to people who won't need the income for 30 years. Actively manage mutual funds with expense ratios above 0.5%. Over any 20-year period, more than 88% of actively managed funds underperform a low-cost index fund. Not because the managers are incompetent, because fees compound against you with the same mechanical power that returns compound for you. A 1% annual fee on a $200,000 portfolio doesn't cost you $2,000 per year. Over 25 years at 7% growth, that fee costs approximately $180,000 in lost compounding. That is not an abstraction. That is a second retirement account you paid a financial product to quietly extract from you, 1 percentage point at a time, while the quarterly statements showed your balance going up, and you never noticed the drain. The whole life pitch works on a similar principle. You walk in and hear that you get a death benefit and a cash value component, 2 products for 1 price. What they don't clarify is that the cash value grows at 1 to 3.5% annually, while the market has averaged roughly 10% over the past century. Compounded over a working career, the difference between those two numbers is not a footnote. It is the entire retirement. The wealthiest self-made people I've studied share one principle that sounds almost offensively boring: low-cost index funds. Buy them, hold them, don't trade, don't time, and don't pay for complexity you don't need. Simplicity and low fees are the only reliable edge available to an average investor. The financial products industry is institutionally motivated to prevent you from knowing that, because the moment you know it, their revenue model collapses. And number 1, the category I believe is responsible for more quietly destroyed financial futures than bad debt, bad investments, and medical emergencies combined, and the one almost nobody talks about, because it requires a level of self-honesty most financial conversations actively avoid. Identity purchases. Not luxury goods, not status symbols, something more specific and considerably more dangerous. Identity purchases are things you buy not because you want the item, but because the item confirms to you and signals to others who you currently are or who you intend to become. The $140 athletic shoes, bought not for running, but because you've decided you're someone who takes fitness seriously now. The complete home office setup, standing desk, ring light, mechanical keyboard, bought not because you needed it, but because you'd privately decided you were an entrepreneur. The professional camera purchased by someone who wants to be a photographer, not by someone who is one. The guitar in the corner of a bedroom that has been a $600 clothes hanger for 3 years. The psychological mechanism driving this is called identity-based motivation. The brain treats acquiring an identity signaling object as partial progress toward actually becoming that thing. When you buy the camera, your brain registers partial credit for becoming a photographer. The object becomes a shortcut to the feeling, without the work, the discipline, or the actual transformation. When the shoes don't transform you, when the guitar collects dust, the response is almost never to stop. It's to buy more, because clearly the right object just hasn't appeared yet. The marketing industry has spent decades and hundreds of billions engineering precisely this loop. Every aspirational ad you have ever seen was selling you an identity first and a product second. You weren't buying running shoes. You were buying the version of yourself that runs at 5:30 a.m. and has the discipline that comes with that. That version costs $140 at checkout and requires zero actual behavioral change. The consumer economy is worth, conservatively, hundreds of billions per year in identity purchases. It comes almost entirely from the middle class, because the wealthy already know who they are. Financial security is an identity. It tells you in concrete, undeniable terms that you were someone who made good decisions, exercised restraint, and chose the future over the present moment. That identity cannot be purchased. Every dollar you spend searching for a shortcut to it is moving you further away. These 5 things: self-improvement subscription traps, premium cards engineered to increase your spend, lifestyle creep disguised as deserved progress, financial products that are complex by design and profitable by extraction, and identity purchases that sell you the feeling of becoming. They are not random bad habits. They are a coordinated system built with precision and deployed at scale. And the people it targets most aggressively are exactly the ones who believe they are too financially aware to fall for it. The middle-class people who actually built wealth didn't do it through a single dramatic decision. They did it through a long, quiet series of refusals. They refused the upgrade. They refused the premium card. They refused a product that made them feel sophisticated while extracting their future. And they redirected that capital every month, every year, into assets that compounded without asking anything of them in return. Compounding is boring for a long time. Then it isn't. 5 years in, you're up $30,000 on contributions of $25,000 and it feels insignificant. Year 15, you're up $180,000 on $75,000 in contributions. Year 25, the numbers stop feeling real. Not because you did something dramatic, because you didn't buy something. Repeatedly, patiently, without needing anyone to notice. The question is never whether you know what to do. After watching this, you do. The question is whether the next time you feel the pull, the subscription that promises a better version of you, the card that promises you've beaten the system, the upgrade that feels deserved, the financial product that sounds smart, the object that promises an identity, whether in that moment you can stop, recognize the mechanism for exactly what it is, and choose the compounding instead. That pause is worth more than any single investment you will ever make. If this was useful, hit like, subscribe if you want more, and drop a comment. Tell me which of these 5 hit the closest to home. Be specific. The more honest you are down there, the sharper the next video becomes. I'll catch you there.